Welcome to Everything Security. I'm Ghaznafar. In this video, we'll talk about authentication factors. Once you are identified by a computer or network through identification, username or user ID, authentication is the second step in order to gain access. Authentication occurs when you prove who you are, usually by providing some sort of password or PIN or sometimes combination of both, etc. There are many ways of authentication. Some are stronger than the others, and some are more difficult to implement than the others. There are three general factors used for authentication. You know something, you have something, and you are something. So now we'll talk about the first factor, which is you know something. This factor is your knowledge of a secret, such as password, PIN, or a pattern. We use passwords and PINs all the time on our computers, online accounts, mobile phones, etc. But these are susceptible to many types of attacks, such as sniffing, brute force, or dictionary attack, Rambo table attack, or social engineering, etc. These can easily be guessed or acquired by someone with a very little effort. And for this reason, we consider them the weakest form of authentication. Some best practices while using passwords are use strong passwords, which is combination of uppercase, lowercase, numeric values, and special characters, etc. Do not use dictionary words, be it from any language, because that can be used against by attacked by dictionary attacks. Consider using long passwords. Never write down your or share your passwords with others. Change your passwords frequently. Do not use similar passwords for different accounts. The second form of authentication is you have something. This is some kind of hardware devices that you carry. Unlike your knowledge of a secret, this factor is based on something you carry, such as a hardware token, smart card, or digital certificate stored on your devices. Sometimes these factors are used alone and sometimes in combination with other authentication factors. Multi-factor authentication is implemented for stronger security, and usually one of these devices are used in combination with your password. The downside with these tokens and devices are they can be stolen or you might lose them. These are also prone to attacks such as fault generation, side channel, or micro-probing, etc. Tokens are or security tokens are small hardware devices and sometimes desktop or mobile applications. These tokens generate a unique code every 30 to 60 seconds. The unique codes are generated either by an algorithm or it could be time synchronized. The third type of token is based on challenge response code. An authentication server on the other side verifies the generated code for authentication. The radio frequency identification RFID-based access cards communicates through radio waves to RFID reader within the proximity to authenticate you. Smart cards do the same job as RFID-based cards authentication, but it comes with inbuilt microprocessor for encryption processes. Memory cards are also used to keep authentication key. The computer reads the information through an attached card reader. So to get yourself authenticated, you simply insert this card into the reader. Certificate-based authentication. Certificate-based authentication uses digital certificates or sometimes public key cryptography. These are cryptographic means of authentication and are considered stronger due to mathematical complexity in their calculations. The digital certificates can be stored on your USB devices, smart cards, or on your computers and mobile phones, etc. The third form of authentication is you are something. It's biometrics. You are something. This factor is called as biometrics. It's the person's unique physical attribute or sometimes behavioral attribute. Biometrics are considered the strongest factor. The unique attributes are mathematically calculated by the authentication system. The drawback is its implementation, which is costlier and requires sophisticated systems. The strength of a biometric system is compared with other biometric systems by crossover error rate, CER. Let's look at some examples of biometrics. Retina scans, iris scans, fingerprint scans, face scans, voice scan, signature dynamics, keystroke dynamics. Retina and iris scan. The pattern of blood vessels of your retina is unique from person to person. The retina scanners project infrared beam in your eyes and read the unique pattern and convert it into authentication for you. Remember, retina scans have potential to reveal your medical conditions, so sometimes it's not even allowed to use. The colored portion of your eyes are also unique, and the iris scanners take advantage of those characteristics. An image is captured by a camera, and the unique details are calculated and stored for a match during authentication process. Fingerprint and face scan. The tiny curved segments on your fingertips are called ridges, and the area between two adjacent ridges is called valley. Those ridges and valleys create a unique pattern which is called your fingerprint. The unique fingerprint is used to verify your identity during the authentication process. There are two types of face scans that can be used to mathematically read your facial attributes, 2D and 3D scans. The latter one is considered stronger authentication as it is more complex maths. Signature and keystroke dynamics. Signature dynamics and keystroke dynamics are behavioral attributes of an individual. The way an individual does the signature has multiple things that can be considered for uniqueness when combined, such as pressure, speed, direction, and lift timings, etc. In the same way, when you type on a keyboard can be different from how someone else types. These are not a strong form of biometric authentication as they can be changed over time and can also be replicated in some situations. However, these are still in use. Multi-factor authentication, MFA. When a system uses two or more authentication factors to make it more secure, it is said to be using multi-factor authentication. For an example, a password and a token-generated OTP is called multi-factor authentication. Sometimes two factors combined are also called as two-factor authentication or 2FA. Note that multi-factor authentication is about different factors in combination. The three factors we discussed: you know something, you have something, you are something. It's not the combination of different methods from the same factor, such as password and pattern. A password and pattern are from the same factor, something you know. So it won't be called as multi-factor authentication. Thank you.